creating, the financial infrastructure that we're using. Remember, we're African Americans that earned over $1 trillion last year. Okay, and of that $1 trillion, your bank. By the way, this is what I gave to everybody. Okay, it's marked up now, but so what we're doing. Remember, we said under Universal Periodic Review that Mr. President, it's $5 trillion. Okay, and we said 300 billion for the infrastructure bank. It's 1 million small businesses, 250 billion or 250,000 per business. There's 7 million households with $100,000 invested in each household. Okay, along with the Congressional Black Caucus would oversee a trust fund of $250 billion. Allied Progressive Caucuses, another $250 billion. Those are Hispanic, are Native Americans. By the way, I've already signed the Native Americans, in. And I expect that with the Asians, the Chinese are going to be the lead on it, but the Vietnamese are in no matter what. Okay, and all the stuff that Lee got while we were there, and that they offered to us, while we're there. Now we're going to implement. Okay, then we have the African Growth and Opportunity Act of 2063. Then we're going to do housing. This is the part that we create jobs. We're going to, remember I said, we're going to stand in the gap for poor people. Okay, poor people who in America, the Commonthwealth of the African Union is going to stand in the gap. Okay, all right, yeah, that's the student financial book. Open that one. There's another one. They're not, both of them are. You just want to open up one of my books, don't you? Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry, my grandson's here. So, well, let me finish so you understand. It's an economic stimulus package that we put before him through the Universal Periodic Review, because we're pumping $2 trillion into the housing market. Okay. And yeah, it program. Okay. All right. It's a program that uses quantitative easing. All right. And yeah, quantitative easing. So we're using the stuff that, we know that the Federal Reserve, was authorized $15 trillion worth of quantitative easing in 2008 because we have an audit because of Dodd-Frank, okay? And so as a member of the National Community Reinvestment Coalition, who meets annually with the chairman of the Federal Reserve, I'm 1 degree removed from all this, okay? And so now in this $5 trillion that we asked for 1.25 trillion originally, just as an American group, right? And now as an African American group, we asked for additional 750 billion that's in our Congressional Allied and African Growth and Opportunity Act. But then we also said $2 trillion into housing in 4 tranches of 500 billion, the first one for homelessness. So then, again, remember what I'm doing all this. I'm demonstrating all this in Cincinnati. Okay, you hear, this is what you need to do, Mr. President, for your people who are African American to end racism per the Universal Periodic Review. But, Mr. President, under my brother's keeper, the task force, that gives us the authority to organize on a community basis, which I'm doing here on the 31st of July, that we can ask of your government, anything that will help put us in place for young boys of color up to age 25. Okay, and so here at Ground Zero in Cincinnati, we are doing that, Mr. President. Okay, and we're doing it in homelessness. Okay, we're doing it in public housing, using Section 3. Then we're doing it for the working poor who are the bedrock of America but can't get a home. Okay. And so, and they don't have a good credit record you know, and so they may have a 500 credit, can't get a loan to get a home. Well, we'll stand as the Commonwealth in their stead in the second place to stand so that, you know, their credit score looks like 700, not 500. Now they can get a home because we stand behind it. Yeah. The FAU is the secretariat. FAU is the secretariat. Okay, we're incorporating when we go to Washington on Monday. We will, with the King, be signing the papers for the creation of Delaware Corporation called the Commonwealth of the African Diaspora. Yeah, it's originally going to be a non-governmental organization, but in Bermuda, we're creating a new land outside of the Bermuda territorial waters, okay, as part of what we're doing in Bermuda. And then under the law of the treaty, the UN treaty, which the U.S. is not signature to, under the law of the sea treaty, will be in international waters. Thereby, we can create our own sovereign relationship. But His Majesty King Du Bois is already sovereign by the Ashanti King as a peer king to the Ashanti Kingdom. It's just that I'm giving him the actual land, okay, independent of the continent, that we're creating a new nation in the sea. You know, remember what I'm doing down in Bermuda, okay? In Bermuda for the Africa's Cup, before we have the Africa's Cup, we're going to have the America's Cup, which has been sponsored by Oracle in 2017. And so what we're doing for Bermuda in 2016 is we've ordered from Germany a cruise ship. And so that cruise ship then is going to pull up there. We basically interrupted a ship that they were building, and we were able to buy, okay, that ship. Okay, they're going to have another one built. Okay, but then we pull up that ship. That'll be the extra berthing that they need in Bermuda for the America's Cup that they just bought for $70-some million. Okay, and so now we, the bank that comes in and do all that, okay, what we're doing is we're building around Bermuda. You've been to Monte Carlo, right? Yeah, oh, yeah, okay, well, go take a look at it. I've been there. The way it's going to work, the Commonwealth will do its banking out of Bermuda. Okay, we're creating the African dollar. Okay, the African dollar will be created as a commemorative act on October 16th, 2016, where 1 million black men will be asked to either $100 a month or $1,000, or they can do it on their tax return. So there's two types, okay? There's going to be the Pan-African nationalist who says on October 16th, I'm down, brother. Okay, you know, this white man, hey, okay, I'm down. You know, what you doing? All right, you in the hood, okay, you the black veterans, okay, you got a program that you tested out in Cincinnati where you're to the streets to stop this, okay, cool. All right, remember, I was on the presidential task force, okay, for President Obama in this past January that was here in Cincinnati that was doing 21st century policing. You know, was trained by Colonel Britton in the Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy. All right, I got reminded of that because, you know, when I first came here and I took down a guy who was causing disturbance in Kroger, and I didn't think about it and I automatically did it. I scared my wife to death, okay, because the cop didn't know how to take the young man down, and he was psychotic. And, you know, I took him down to, and you know, because she was trying to start to for a gun, and he was going to take her down, and so I took him down and, you know, controlled the situation. But I you know, was reminded of that nobody is stepping up to protect the witnesses to the shootings, and I put that on the street, you know, the other day. It's like, look, we have shootings, nobody wants to talk about it, and when they do talk, then the shooters go after them. Frig that. Okay, all right. You know, we got to have protection for our people. Okay, but at the same time, we have to control the police. So anyway, that's what we do. Okay, that's what we do through the Commonwealth in cooperation with the National Association of Black Veterans, which is a 40-year-old veteran service organization. Here in Cincinnati, our chapter is called the Cincinnati Black Brigade, and it's named after 153 years ago in Cincinnati. They drafted a brigade of black men to build out because the Confederates were going to invade Ohio. Okay, so. Yeah. You're going to be there at the signing of the Commonwealth of the African Diaspora, and we're going to sign a letter of intent that we'll work out between now and Monday for the banking infrastructure that you will lead with your partners in helping us structure a revenue anticipation note for the country of Bermuda, who will put up X and Y and Z based on our previous discussions. That's the very least that you're going to do. Yes, and second, yes, yeah, taxing authority. Second, we're going to go and meet with His Excellency, okay, the ambassador who came here on April 14th from Zimbabwe. Okay, yeah, that's what that is. And so, you know, when he, okay, that's great. I got my grandson, and now he wants to be rock star. Okay, all right. So that's fine. That's what we do. No. I mean, you know, remember, I do hip hop. Okay, all right. We got a recording studio downstairs in the library and everything. Okay, all right. And so, you know, what we do, okay, here. Okay, is that we do the demonstration here, but while we're in D.C., we're going to set up to follow up Prince George's, the group in Prince George's County. All right, they want us to come over there and do what I'm doing here there. Okay, and so everything. You know, I used to, when I had money, you know, I was living in D.C., I lived in, you know, Latham, okay, Maryland, okay, and, you know, so anyway, they need help, okay, and they bought into FAU, okay, and they bought into how we are running out the Commonwealth of the African Diaspora, but we're doing it under the auspices, okay, in America under My Brother's Keeper, which then gives us access to everything in the federal government, okay. That's what the Presidential Task Force, and that's what it says, okay? And it's very easy, you know, I could read you the multiple pages where it says that, you know, you get to tell, in addition to the chair, which is the Department of Education, the Attorney General, the Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Defense, Education, Health and Human Services, HUD, Interior, Labor, Transportation, Office of Management and Budget, Council of Economic Advisors, OPM, okay, and the rest. Well, between 2 and 5 will be at the State Department. Okay, now that I'm going to go, what we're going to have is a separate meeting with the man who's in charge of economics for Africa for the United States. Okay, so me and Fred went there before, and I'll call him and see that we set it up there. We'll also be going over to the National Community Reinvestment Coalition, and we're going to create the membership between us in San Francisco and you and me, so that you would then go over there and become part of the National Community Reinvestment Coalition, and go look at ncrc.org. Okay, and so that's how I get access to the Federal Reserve once a year. That's how we meet with the nation's biggest banks 4 times a year. Okay, is through that organization. That's why I say I'm 1 degree removed. But I've been in that for a decade. Okay, and its utilization. Okay, all right. And so, that's what we're going to do. Okay. And so at the very least, you're going to talk about State Department, you're going to talk about King Du Bois, and you're going to talk about, NCRC. At the very best, plan to stay over the next day, because you're talking to Bermuda, you're talking to Zimbabwe, and ideally tell your partners to get a Regis Center, office. So if they need to get it out of here, that's fine, so that we can have a virtualization. That's what they can do, so that we're not running around. Rather, we can centralize, and I can set it up for that. But we'll have that conversation offline, But I'm taking a delegation in, of people, to cover all these areas that we did. All right, like I said, for most of the people who do human rights in America, they like to complain. I like solutions, and it's all about the money. So this is where Merrill Lynch, that's why they keep my account open. They remember when I had money, all right. So now I'm going to use that. I'm going to bring them up. Now I'm going to bring EY, all that stuff that you told me that you are, as EY, all right, all right. Yeah, it's me. It's me on my side of the table, and the other side is the U.S. State Department, all right. This is their review of their response to us, This is what we did. Remember, we're the ones who was in. We sent a letter. My letter to President Obama reads: White House, President of the United States, Barack Obama. Dear Mr. President Barack Obama, we, citizens, would like to meet with your administration no later than October 2015. Now remember, I'm part of NCRC, and we helped put together One Nation in 2010, and we had 150,000 people on the mall, And now, so what I'm saying now, even though Farrakhan, whatever he's doing on October 16th, we're going to be in New York. We're not going to be in Washington. We're going to be online. We're going to be creating the African dollar. Now, when he took over this in '95, and he was the last speaker, somebody else remembers the 4 AME bishops and all the other speakers. They only remember him, And so that's why, this ain't about us. It is about our people. It is about a people who, if we don't do something in this generation, then the next generation is less prepared than us. And for me, I'm 59 and got 5 heart attacks, 6 stents, and 7 surgeries, on my heart. So I'm like, either I do this and get this done now, or and there's not a lot of us, so there's a lot of OGs, who are coming together like Queen Mother. But what we asked the president, Queen Mother is going to be there, the King is going to be there, the Queen, Now remember the difference between King Du Bois is an Ashanti king, so his wife by that becomes a queen. There's a difference between a queen and a Queen Mother, Okay. All right. A queen mother in the Ashanti kingdom chooses the king and is the mother to the king. All right. A queen is the mate to the king. In this case, our queen is an urban planner. Our king is a master trader. Well, that's fine. Then, in what we're doing is creating an African American architecture, engineering, and construction enterprise. All those. What I'm doing is I'm creating it. Okay, through a series. What Roger? Okay. All right. So hold on a sec. Yeah, can you? I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. No, my grandson and he's on restriction. Okay. All right. All right. So what we're doing is, we didn't, we just stated a fact. Farrakhan is going to be in Washington on October 16th. We're going to be in New York. We said to the president, okay, we want to meet with you because we want to form a public-private partnership that is mutually advantageous. See, our authority comes from being Americans. Okay, because in 1885, the Treaty of Berlin created Africa. All right, and so within that context, okay, that we treat that, okay, and it's time to capitalize on our joint skills as Americans, okay, contacts as citizens of a global power, and the intellectual property through a patent pool process created with the goal of ending institutionalized federal government racism in the United States of America. We do that using the United Nations Human Rights Council Universal Periodic Review. Currently, the UN is conducting a United Nations Human Rights Council Universal Periodic Review of the United States of America. That was done on May 11th. It was finished on May 15th. The Universal Periodic Review has the greatest potential to promote and protect human rights in the darkest corners of the world, so said the UN Secretary General. Friends of the African Union joined with NGO ECOSOC New Future Foundation, founded by Queen Mother Dr. Dolores Blakely. Remember, she is a Fulbright scholar. Okay, all right. She's a doctor of education. On September 15th, 2014, and submitted the fact of the Michael Brown case, known as an example, and not the only one, to the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights and the U.S. State Department of possible police misconduct. Remember, this was in September 15th, 2014. In line with the deadline of such submission in regards to the Universal Periodic Review of the USA that is being held on May 11th, 2015 in Geneva, Switzerland. It is our intention to give the Office of the High Commissioner the entire grand jury report in our allied $5 trillion international organization 26,000 superset quantitative easing based national solution with an Ohio demonstration. So that Ohio demonstration, bring it back. So I've got two demonstration sites, one Cincinnati, okay, with a man who sits on the Asian Foreign Relations Board, Congressman Shabbat. And then I have in Cleveland, Congresswoman Fudge, who used to be the head of the Congressional Black Caucus, who is, okay, and in Northeast Ohio, centered around Cleveland. So I have two demonstrations with a man who's running for the President of the United States, who's the governor of the state. And Ohio was the first state in the United States to set up an office in Africa. It set up an office in Nigeria. It was the first state government to set up a trade office in Africa. And now we're going to go ahead. No. I need to know from your group, okay, if they're ready for the formation of the bank. If they got the money, we're just going to do it then on Tuesday. If they got the money, that's all we got to do. We're ready. We're ready to go. If your people are ready to go, our people are ready to go. That's what we'll do on Tuesday. No, I said what on Monday, our agenda, okay, from 8 is to meet with the king. All right, and then at 2 to meet with the U.S. State Department. We may meet at the U.S. State Department. Hold on a second. Yeah, but yeah, yeah, yeah. I do French. Yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay. All right. So again, on Monday, the agenda is get in at 8 o'clock, meet with the king. Okay. Then go over to the National Community Reinvestment Coalition, set up the deal with them. Okay. Then go to the State Department, either early if I've been able to set up the appointment with the man who's in charge of the economic policy for the United States State Department in Africa. And then at 2 o'clock, okay, through 5 o'clock, be in the Universal Periodic Review. Then from 5 to 7 or so, have discussions with the other groups in that afterwards. Okay, and then work into the night, and if we have nothing else, then leave. If we have follow on, then stay. And the next day, at the very least, I'm talking about Bermuda. At the very least, I'm talking about Zimbabwe. At the very least, I'm talking about, okay, oh, I like that. I like that. All right. We had the, oh, no, I'm on a Google. Okay. Uh, so on the following day, if your people are ready to do the bank, that'll be the agenda first thing in the morning on the next day, and we're setting up Bermuda. And then we're following up and setting up in Zimbabwe based on the work that we did on the conference in Addis Ababa. And again, the Queen Mother will give you a in-person debrief, and we'll have a hangout. And so your people can be online with my people and others so that we would have a personalized briefing from our participant. Again, we are a voting participant in what is yesterday's, because remember their timeline. Okay, the meeting is over with. You'll see the videos of it tomorrow. Okay, we're going to post the videos. We have our own video channel now. Okay, all right. So we're ready. We're the squirrel who's getting the basket, and we're gathering the nuts, and now we're parsing them and looking at them and judging them for the effectiveness of what they do. Okay, and we're at that point. Okay, so for implementation, I have no problem with you and FAU. Okay, San Francisco. Okay, I've got a couple of people out there, but I haven't instituted San Francisco. I have no problem in bringing San Francisco up. Okay, under your tutelage.
Agenda is to bring assets. The creation of the African currency, which is like a Bitcoin kind of African currency. That's one. And then two, Bermuda's participation in that, I guess, to be a place of domiciling the entity around this. That's kind of what I think I'm hearing a little bit. Also, I'm hearing that Bermuda is willing to bring some sort of assets themselves their self-accelerate things. Is that part true?
Yeah. In terms of Bermuda, can you hear me okay? I just got tired.
Yes, I can.
Okay. So in terms of Bermuda, okay, what we're doing is a revenue anticipation note. All right. And so just like in Cincinnati and just like others, it's based on the taxing authority of the government. All right. And that taxing authority then is wrapped around in a revenue anticipation note and wrapped into the Merrill Lynch wealth management account, in which, the process that we talked about previously.
Right.
All right.
The other thing is, Herschel, we have this bank guarantee deal where we can, or SBLCs, where we can actually take whatever asset or income or collateral there is, securitize it. It's not at risk, but we can use it. We can use an asset or collateral and secure it by whoever it belongs to. We don't actually have to take over ownership of that asset, right?
You take a safekeeping receipt. You take a safekeeping receipt relative to that, and I'm fine.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I'm getting at is you have the power through my organization and our banking facility, and we're around the globe with applications in different spaces, so we can do this business. It doesn't have to be done in the United States, but to be able to take somebody who has an asset or something of great wealth, we can borrow that in essence, or give them an SBLC or bank guarantee. So, for instance, let's say someone wants to put up $10 million, whether the government or an individual, and you can say, I can take that in, protect it, not have it be at risk, give you a return of 5% on that asset, and it can serve the mission of the Secretariat of the Diaspora, all these things that you talk about.
Yeah.
That's a pretty powerful thing to be able to say to Danny Glover or Obama or the United States of America, for instance. We can take your asset, have it not be at risk, give you a return that's better than your U.S. Treasury bill. Give you 5% return on it, guaranteed, and you actually get that guarantee right up front. So that in a year from that time, or some set amount of time, it's now worth $12 million versus $10 million. That would be a 20% return.
Again.
I just want to give you.
Yeah, we're good with that. The first step is what I have set up with Bank of America, Merrill Lynch. Remember, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch. Okay, we definitely. All right. So I'm sorry. Okay, now you know what I'm doing. All right.
I'm listening.
All right. So within that context, okay. We're going to set it up, and from Merrill, we will. The reason we're going with Bank of America, of that $15 trillion in quantitative easing, they received the most. They received $3 trillion worth of authority.
So you're saying they have $3 trillion?
No, they've used half of it. They've used half of it. They received originally $3 trillion worth of authority. And they used half of it, or 1.5 trillion. And I think, I haven't seen the latest figures. Okay, so that's one of the things I'll have by Friday.
Okay.
Is how much of
what I'm basically trying to say to you is, it may not be the way that you've engaged some of these folks before, or entities, in terms of business planning. For instance, all these million men or African men or whomever are going to pledge money. They can pledge money up to a total of $10 million, and we can guarantee their money. In other words, when they do it together, I'm making this up right now in my mind, but if they were to pledge, let's say $10 million worth of value, and maybe we even got some matching people like Danny Glover or Oprah Winfrey, for instance, that were to match dollars for dollars, or make it so that we raised $10 million. My bank, like me, I don't have to go to Moises or someone else. My bank, we have arrangements where we can take that $10 million. We can actually turn it into $40 million. Right? We have the capability of doing that within a 10-day period. Okay? And for exchange for that $10 million, we can give back an SBLC that is a return on the principal. So the principal is secured, and then return, and it can be utilized to create, a fund of $40 million that we then would have a drawdown schedule on and assign monies to different banks. And when I say things, I mean projects. And those projects, would be profitable, and then we, be able to, then we'd have profits. So I just wanted to give you a real high level, simple thing to look at. So if you can think about folks that are in your ecosystem currently that are in that position, whether maybe it's the quantitative easing, maybe it's for being in government, where they have some sort of asset, you can take it in as FAU without it being at risk, and guarantee them a return. And it will be delivered to them in the form of an SDLC or a bank guarantee.
Yeah, again, we're going to do that with Black Wall Street out of San Diego, FAU San Diego. We're going to do it with FAU New York. We're going to do it with FAU Prince George's County. We're going to do it with FAU Florida. So I have a variety of FAUs who are ready to stand up. Okay, when we do this. Okay, that we will do the push on that. Okay, but that's part of negotiations between now and Monday. Separately and apart, though, I'm moving to get this done as if you weren't there. Okay, just so you understand, until we get there, I'm willing and able to designate you and yours to work and be the structure of what I'm doing. Okay, in terms of finance, but he who comes to the table first, okay, within the context of what we are doing, of standing up the African diaspora worldwide, all 300 million of us. What we are doing here in America.
Do you believe that you have maybe you already have this, and I think you may have communicated it to me in the last couple of weeks, that you actually have the authority now to represent the 6th region as it relates to the planning that you've done, and particularly bringing in a Du Bois, for instance. Does that somehow cement or
all right, so let me give you the understanding. Let me give you the understanding. We took the position based on being called by the African Union in September of 2013. All right. When they gave us in 2012, all of us, 6 region membership. Remember, that's a governmental organization. So what we're doing is that we are saying that the Commonwealth of the African diaspora is the holding for all of our people, 300 million, but we have a Congress that everybody, okay, comes in as their own organization. So we don't ask you to leave your organization. If you're Senghor's UNIA, or if you're Cleophas's UNIA, you get to come in. You're the NAACP members. Then remember, this is the African diaspora. So if you aren't 1% or more of Africa, you can't come in. Okay. Remember, though, that Fleasley, okay, said you 1% or more African, you're discriminated against. Well, now it's to your advantage to be an Alexander Hamilton or a Thomas Jefferson family member because you're considered African. All right? All right. So in the context of what Africa set down as the rules, we are operating in. Only we're taking it to the limit that they have not thought of, I don't think, based on our discussions, that we will really organize. Now, worldwide, remember they called us all together September, 2013. So I'm not trying to do Europe. I'm just bringing in the group that's in Europe. I'm not trying to do the group in Central America. That's already coming out of Nicaragua. I'm not trying to do South America. That's coming out of Brazil. I am doing North America, which is headquartered out of Bermuda. I am doing Asia, which we haven't decided where we're going to do, more than likely Vietnam. But Australia, China, and Japan are possibilities. I do know that I am in a fight with Indonesia, okay, who is in the process of carrying out a genocidal war against Africans in Asia. All right. So within that context, okay, we're not trying to be everything, because like in the Caribbean, that's CARICOM. Okay. And again, what we're doing is we're organizing everybody into one body like they asked us to do.
Okay, that's you're facilitating. And
that's what King Du Bois can do, because he's an Ashanti king. He's the only American who has been ennobled by royalty in Africa.
Okay. Only American ennobled by African royalty?
Yeah, yeah. That's that piece, okay. His Royal Majesty, the king.
Who was the ennobled by? Who did it?
The Ashanti king. I sent you all that in the journey. It's all on the page there. All right. In 2003, this didn't happen last year. Queen Mother was ennobled by the Ashanti king as a Queen Mother 20 years ago. That now makes her the senior Queen Mother.
I think that my partner out of Nigeria, I think that he has the Ashanti king, or the son of the Ashanti king is like his business partner.
Yeah. Well, the Ashanti king has already set up the education fund that we got to fund for his mother. It's already it's already set up. We already know where we got to deposit the money. Okay, and remember what I'm doing with Lee in Ghana. We don't need to talk about that now, but but we cover our T's, dot our I's, and we do everything at a governmental level. Remember, I came out of a governmental level representing Africa. All right. Remember, we were the senior honorary consul for the Republic of Guinea to the U.S. So when I went into this, I didn't go into this with any ideological. Rather, I went in it as a governmental basis.
Okay.
All right. So, all right. So that section of us has ended. I was supposed to call His Majesty. He's in discussions right now, and I'm not going to pull him out of those discussions. If either of you have any questions, feel free. Yeah. All right. I thought your phone had ran out of power.
No, I thought that was yours.
No, my phone's standing still. See, they didn't get their monitoring system. Another monitoring system kicked in on the system, and it loaded down the line, and we lost the line. You've got to take it that everything. See, we cross our T's, dot our I's, because I take it that everything that we are doing is being monitored. All right. When I used to work for the government, I would monitor me.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why I say most times on the phone, hey, look, my name is Herschel Daniels Jr., and I used to be in charge of Naval Telecommunications System Integration Command 01, so that if they have any questions, they can check out, who I am.
Right on. Right on. Okay. Okay, yeah, so where is this event being held on Monday?
Yeah, it's held at the State Department, man, at the Marshall Center.
Okay. Okay, so in Public Marshall Center, you go in there, get into there for so much time, and do other meetings with people that are leaders in this effort.
No,
And
no, you're going to meet. No, you're going to meet in the morning the FAU New Future Foundation leaders. When we go into this meeting, there will be the U.S. Human Rights Commission. There will be a whole bunch of people. Where are you going, Durante? All right, that's Bob. Okay. There'll be a whole bunch of people from the U.S. Human Rights League, and there may be a whole bunch of foreign, governments there also.
Okay.
All right, now take it over there. Okay. So dinner has arrived. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
I'm good for now.
All right, and I'll talk to you a little bit later. We're going to make
I'm sorry, if I came out there, it's Monday and Tuesday, basically, right?
Yep.
Monday, Tuesday.
Yep.
And it's DC.
Yep. And if you come for Tuesday, come ready with the authorization to start the bank.
Okay.
All right.
I hear you. Cool.
Okay.
All right. How much money are we talking is needed in the bank?
I told you $3 million. I told you $3 million. Okay. All right. To do the paperwork, law, and $15 million to be deposited. Huh? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And I could use one of my existing banking structures, like this one in Nigeria. It's got 1.5 billion in assets.
Yeah. Are they in Nigeria?
What's that?
Are those assets in Naira?
I think they're in Nigeria. I'm not sure.
So if the assets are in Naira, okay, I mean, the reason that I'd like to join you in that, so yes, we could do that, but it's going to cost us $300 million to buy the phone company. They just sold it for $254, and it'll cost us $300 million. And so, you know, I'm looking forward to have that happen. So that's fine.
All right. Okay, man, I'll let you go. I'll talk to you.
All right.
Awesome. Cheers.
Cheers. All right. Anybody have any questions? No questions. Yes, sister.
Yes. Did you see the invitation? I'm looking at it now. So this is going on Monday coming.
Yeah, it's open. You're coming in as New Future Foundation. I sent this to you before. I just asked them. They had closed it, and so they sent me notice that we can still get people in.
Okay. So what information do you need from specifically?
Well, if you want to attend, okay, I need your name that's on either your passport or your driver's license. All right, and I need Social Security, okay, and you know that I'm going to submit names, okay, before tonight.
All right.
Okay. Now the mail told me that they just sent me today that it says the 15th, but the one that they sent me personally beforehand said today. I mean, it was supposed to be closed yesterday. Okay. So you know, I think that they're giving us a special ability. Who knows? But I'm just going to make sure that everybody who's in D.C. okay, who wants to attend the Universal Periodic Review, so that they have to send me their name that's on either their driver's license or their passport. And it's also we'll also follow this up and do the hangouts on that. Okay. Have you got any report back from Queen Mother? Don't tell me. We'll talk about that offline.
Yes, I did. She's fine. She after the chemo, she's been going to the conferences. I actually got 2 emails. Sorry about the feedback, but she did say she's okay. I got 2 emails, and then they actually made a donation to her of about 10,000. The people that made went to California, and other trips, and so I'm assuming she's gonna get that before she comes. And she's gonna be okay.
All right, good. Todd will be glad to hear it.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So that's good. So I was online earlier with the lawyers in New York. Okay, so I think we also got that covered too. So we can start operating in the building overall. All right. So, but I'm going to talk to you about that offline.
That's fine.
All right. So I'm going to call you directly. If nobody else has any questions, I've been online and my dinner's here. And so if we don't have any other questions, I'll do that and I'll come back up. Wait a minute, I got a whole bunch of people calling me. All right. And I got people calling me, but I don't have, they're calling me. It's like that they can't see the chat that's going on. All right. Well, anyway, Andrew, we'll have video for you. Okay. I talked to Alicia yesterday, so we got that worked out. I'll be getting her the videos tonight. All right. All right. And Andrew, if you have anybody in New York, excuse me, anybody in Washington or anybody in New York who wants to attend the Universal Periodic Review from 5 Points, okay, come in under FAU and send me the information, their name. I need their social security number, and I need the address to match their name. Tonight, I'm trying to get the list in. Now, they sent me an email earlier giving us an extra day to the day. Then they sent me another email saying we have till tomorrow. I'm going to believe the first email.
Washington or New York?
New York. I'm sorry, Washington. Washington. U.S. State Department.
Yeah, I have someone on the ground.
All right. All right. Well, if nobody has any other questions, tomorrow, okay. Oh. Hey. All right. So Andrew is going to be working with us on the sports, and that was actually why I was holding that this here today. I was going to be pushing the FAU Sports, which is our company that's going to be doing the sports for the Commonwealth and creating a new league of mixed sports, including extreme sports and motor sports in planned unit developments, and with Cincinnati to ground zero on that. But I am actually tired now. And so if, Andrew, I'm going to call you back on give me about a half hour, and I'll call you back and we'll hold a FAU Sports Google.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not a problem.
All right. All right. And if no more questions, I say once, I say twice. We had 3 times, and I'm gone. Thank you all for your time.
Thanks, sir. I'll wait for your call.